He's moving on the side.
Oh, all right, crew, welcome in. I forgot I was going to look at this camera, but I should be looking at this camera. We're back with a little agency therapy. It is event week, Hydra Council 2024. We got the partner, the OG in the building, Nicholas Kirchner. Welcome, brother.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, of course. Stoked because this is like the pinnacle week for Hydra. This is all hands on deck. We got the whole team in town. Robbie Kiyosaki comes in tonight. We have 50 people coming in for the event. So pressure's on. But really, it's like we've been prepared for this for a couple weeks now, and now it's just kind of showing up and bringing good energy and having a good time. But
yeah. Third one.
Yeah, man. It's our third one. So I kind of have it down to a science now. Like the whole event is essentially already planned. It's just we have to like go and re-up contracts, like whether that's like catering or event space or whatever it is. It's like really easy for us. Like it's all kind of planned out and easily done already. So I'm excited for it, man. We got some good people coming to town. We got a crazy speaker lineup this year.
We do.
Which I'm stoked on. But how are you feeling going into the event?
I feel good. I memean, there's always a little bit of nerves, but that's a good thing. It's because we want to put on a good show.
Yeah, Corey always says, it's a good thing that you're nervous. It means you care.
Yeah, I think I would be a little concerned if I wasn't nervous. You gotta stay on your toes, you know.
I always find the nerves settle as soon as like we get started. And then from there, it's like, it's kind of outside of our control at this point. It's like, whatever happens, happens. Like, hopefully the food comes. Hopefully the chairs and tables come tomorrow. Like, all that stuff, which they gave me a confirmation yesterday that tables and chairs will be here. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, what do you do at this point? It's out of our hands. And
yeah,
you just kind of roll with the punches. So, and dude, the first 2 years that we ran are like very minimal mistakes. I think year one, our biggest mistake was like the recordings were messed up from the speakers. Year two, we didn't get the best photos ever. But this year, man, I think we're gonna be well rounded. I don't think we're gonna drop the ball anywhere.
Worked out the kinks already.
Yep, exactly. We have some awesome speakers coming this year. Which ones are you most looking forward to?
I think for me, just because I've never met Judge Graham.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be electric.
Both you and Adam speak very highly of him. I'm curious to see what he talks about and just get to know him a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Judge will be 10 out of 10. Always brings good energy. I was talking to him yesterday about his talk or whatever, and he was speaking on just so much that we already talk with clients on, which I'm like, I told him that, and he's like, dude, like, I'm going to change what I'm going to talk about then. I was like, no. I was like, please come in, talk about market leader positioning, talk about how you value or how your agency was valued at, because he had a 9-figure exit. It was a massive exit, like 480 million.
Yeah,
something insane like that. So it's like, no, go in and talk about this stuff because this is what we preach to them already. And it's like, sometimes it falls on deaf ears because we didn't have a fucking $480 million exit. Sorry about it. But at the same time, it's like, these are the things, like they're foundational pieces of information. And I just want it reaffirmed by someone that's done it bigger than we have.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's the thing, right? I feel like we talk around a lot of the same concepts, but how many people actually take that, let it sink in, run with it? I mean, those are always few and far between, right? And so something interesting about the agency space too is it's so dependent on getting the fundamentals right that the fundamentals sound boring after a while, but it's like if you actually did the fundamentals, you'd be where you want to be.
Yeah, it's like the fundamentals with consistency. Like that's where people fall short because it's like it's normally the boring stuff that people don't like doing, like writing the emails and writing the text scripts and making sure that you're tracking your KPIs
doing
effectively.
Outreach,
yeah, it's all the boring stuff that people just don't want to continue to do. Okay, so Judge is one of the ones that we're most excited for. I was going to say that as well, but let me pick a different one. I think another one that I'm really excited for this year is Taylor McMaster. She's coming in and going to be talking about like her account management stuff. She actually works with a lot of our clients already, but she runs a firm that places their own account managers. Like it's Taylor's account managers in this other business. It's almost like account managers, like mercenary style.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting business model. And when I was talking to her about some, I was like, are they account managers that are like they hire them? Like, are you guys recruiting? He's like, no, there are account managers and we train them and then we get them integrated into their business as like mercenaries.
Such an interesting model. It's like rent and account manager.
Yeah, it's exactly
basically.
what it is. Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited for her because I think she has insights on agencies that no one else really sees from that side. So I'm really excited for her.
Yeah. Also, such a key role to get right and hard one to find. That's
super tough.
Super
tough to get it right. And so, I mean, from the feedback that I've heard and the clients that we work with and also work with her, they're like, yeah, it's great. So they're doing some stuff right over there. So I'm curious to hear her background as well on that. Got Taylor Welch coming this year. I think that's who you thought I was going to say is Taylor Welch.
Probably.
On the first one.
Probably.
Of course, like if you guys haven't ever seen Taylor Welch speak before, you gotta get in a room with him at least once. It's really interesting. He just has a very different mindset around business, and you could tell he's very well studied. So I'm excited to hear him. He's just a good speaker too. So it's like what he says really resonates well with people because he's good at using stories and putting ideas together and saying it in a way that is not necessarily new to people. I think a majority of us kind of remix content, but he remixes it in a way that makes it sound so original and so like he makes non-obvious connections between things that are obvious and like real life scenarios. He does such a good job with that. So I'm excited for people to get exposed to him this week, especially being in a smaller room of only 50 people. So
yeah, absolutely. As always, I'm excited to see Cody talk.
Yeah, Cody.
He's closing us out.
He's closing us out. Going to give the little last hoorah. I feel like he always does that at all the agency events. He did agency founders, and it got me amped leaving the room. So Cody's always a solid one. But yeah, the speaker lineup this year, 10 out of 10. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, I think it's arguably the best lineup we've put together.
Yeah. The food is similar to last year. I did a lot of the same, but we're doing a new experience this year. Pins Mechanical, which is like a bowling alley, like mini bowling. But then there's also like a ton of games and stuff, yard games. There's ping pong. There's like bocce ball. I don't know. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do. And then we rented out the biggest room in Pins Mechanical. We'll have it all sectioned off. We'll have open bar tabs, so people want to get a little nutty, they can.
That's also a common theme at Hydra Council, being directly on Broadway.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. That's we always give the caveat after day one of like, hey, it's Friday. Like, if you want to go out, go have fun, but make sure you get some rest because like tomorrow it's going to be packed full of information again. Don't get like absolutely hammered. We've had a few attendees. I'm just going to shout them out real quick. Josh Hedges. my boy comes out here and he's like, I'm gonna make the most out of this. We're going for it. He goes full send, which if that's what they want to do, awesome. But it's always funny to see like the people the next day. You could tell who went out and just did it up big. Yeah. It's a good place to do it though.
Yeah, I mean, when in Nashville, right?
Yeah, that's right, Nash Vegas. So, but this event I think is gonna be our best one to date. I'm excited for it. We're going to have the best content coming out of this one. We have a content staff coming into some freelancers that are going to be super helpful. We're going to have a lot of distribution coming off the back of this, so I'm excited to kind of see some of the content we can get from this and then hopefully pour that into next year and just continue to grow it. And then off the back of this one, we're apparently doing London. I don't know how we're going to do it, but full transparency, we're planning a London event in October, which is going to be crazy. I don't know how we're going to pull it off, but we're planning on getting our team out there along with having some of the UK people. We're going to try and do something with the Soar with us guys and try to collaborate on an event out there.
Yeah. I think I'm a little more comfortable because we have like 50% of our clients are from the UK. So I feel like question-wise, at least they're locals. But I mean, we've never planned an international event.
Yeah, I'm curious on well, speakers too. It's like
that's also interesting.
I mean, we're gonna have to probably just pull people from the UK, which it's nice because some of our clients are out there, but it's like can't have all of our clients be speakers, you know?
No. Maybe bring a couple from the US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the hard part is like pulling people from the US. But even like Taylor McMaster, she goes, so you're doing an event in October. She's like, let me know, like I'll come out there. And I was like, sure. Yeah, if you want to, go for it. I love that. That's huge. So Taylor will probably speak in Hydra Council in October as well. Anything else that we want to chat on for Hydra Council? That's pretty much it. I want to talk about something else after that, though.
Oh.
I want to talk about Hormozi's event coming up
Oh,
in May.
yeah.
That's going to be
do it.
wild. So we got access to one of the forms that you can fill out for going to Hormozi's workshop event. What, Tyler? We good? Yep. Okay. So we got access to one of the forms to fill out for Hormozi's event. It's like they vet people, which I'm pretty sure if you're doing over $1 million a year or close to it, they're going to probably let you in.
Yeah.
Because a few of our clients are going to it as well. But May workshop, I'm very curious to see what they kind of say about the business. I guess, like, from your perspective, what do you think? What do you think some of their biggest things for us is going to be? Because I love looking at this proactively and just, like, being ready for it. And, like, I have some ideas, but I want to hear from you of, like, some things that you think they're going to say about our business and what needs to get improved.
Yeah, well, first off, we have a core value that we think making profit is great.
Mm-hmm.
And we're someone who we've grown pretty much 100% organically. I mean, the amount of money we've spent on marketing in general is pretty laughable over the last
It is very laughable.
couple of years. So I already know it's going to be like, hey, you guys have a lifetime value. You know, on average, clients stay with us north of 12 months. So it's like, they're going to be like, hey, you need to, spend some more on marketing. You guys could be growing way faster than you want. And, fortunately, we're already leaning into that a bit.
Yeah.
And then probably a lot around redundancies and probably where my focus and your focus is going. I think some of those pivots, either they'll get reinforced or they'll say we need to focus elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I think we have our finger on the pulse. I think it'll be good confirmation for us. And I'm also excited to see, like, if we're too close to the sun and they see something that we don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about, is if they see something that we won't see. I think the other really pivotal thing for us right now is, like, we're starting to hire more and more people onto our team, and we have to kind of drink our own medicine on the operational side. It's like right now we've been putting a lot of focus into our playbooks, into building SOPs for how we handle certain client situations and all of that. And it's very difficult for us because we have such a robust delivery of, like, we help on everything from lead gen, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance. Like, there's such a wide scope of things that our consultants need to know, our team needs to know. And we just don't have all of that documented. One, because it's so much, but also we haven't really been in a position. It's like you and I were doing all the consulting before this. And it's like we just kind of have to build it as we go. And now we have some of that bandwidth back because we've got AP doing the consulting. We got Robbie doing the consulting. So it's, that part of our business is shifting. It's just they're probably going to tell us, like, yeah, you guys need to bring on probably more team at a certain point. It's like we just don't have all of the trainings done yet.
No. And that's kind of the thing, too, right now. Like, transparently, we're bringing on a project manager, and it's like
we don't have anything for them yet.
we have to, like, design the whole onboarding process, what they're going to study, all of it, because it's just still all in our heads.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think those are going to be two of the big things. Acquisition, because I know they're going to want us to push the lever on acquisition, especially with us already having a sales team built out. It's like, why not? Like, what are we waiting on? So,
very curious to see if they give us anything on positioning or offer, given the landscape of what we sell into already, where there's no shortage of people claiming to have done X, Y, or Z,
right?
Or saying we'll help you grow your agency. And I think laying out our expansion plans too in the markets we want to go into. Be keen to see, like, what they say about it.
For sure, I think that will be the one thing I'm hunting for while I'm there, is going to be around the offer. I feel like our offer is so big. Like, we just cover so much. Like, it could be so many different things, which could be the worst thing ever. But also, I think it's what makes us very different, is that we can cover a very full scope. Like, we look at businesses holistically through multiple lanes, not just growing on the front end of, like, lead gen and sales, which is a lot of the offers in this space. It's like we also focus on, like, the back half of the business, which is, like, the operational side, fulfillment, human resources and hiring, and the financial picture of the whole business, and just making sure it stays in balance with one another. So I'm curious what they'll say about the offer side, because I don't know too many people that are running as complex of an offer as we are.
No, and I think it's a blessing and a curse, right? Curse because it's harder to sell, I think, because we have so many things, but also a blessing because if you look at our lifetime value and how long we hang on to people, like if we just sold a one-dimensional offer, it would be 90 days and you're out, and all the business is like has to be net new.
Yep.
Whereas we have this recurring thing, building more as like a true management consultancy.
Yeah.
But it's more ambiguous on the front end of like, well, what do you guys actually help
Yep.
with?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like once they're in the ecosystem, there's so much more room for lifetime value because like now we're doing done for you projects. Now we're able to do by the time this goes out, probably recruiting, which is something low key that we've been building on the back end, which is Hydra recruiting.
And we got something super secret working as well.
Yeah,
that we might be offering.
Yeah, that's too early stage though. It hasn't even crossed anything. So yeah, I'm excited for that as well. We've got some fun stuff planned for the second half of the year. That's just gonna expand our scope, expand the stickiness of what we do. But overall, I think we need different ways, and I think an outside perspective on our offer and having them work through that with us is going to be just huge for this next movement and the back end of Q2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great investment, and I'm keen to see how it works. One thing that I find really interesting about this is, Hormozi's whole play up to this point has been free publishing, free content, only working the investment side of the business. But the event side is a very interesting way probably for them to get deal flow and for them to have that pay for itself, essentially. Because it's like, I'll never sell a program, never sell anything like that, but events made it in. So I would be keen to like hear inside of his head, like what made them go that direction.
It's got to be deal flow.
Yeah.
I mean, they fill 50 seats. I don't know how many they do every quarter. I think they do 2 a quarter right now.
Yeah.
If that, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just kind of making that up.
Well, I mean, think about it. They effectively do
it's
a
50
diligence
seats
on every business coming in. So it's
it's their portfolio company that's going to be working with us,
Yeah.
So, which it's like, cool. Those are the people that are pulling the levers behind the business. So I'm fine with that. But it is very, I can almost guarantee you that they're looking at businesses and they're like, all right, like we should go after these guys for sure. Like, let's have a deeper conversation. So for us, I'm very curious on your opinion of this. And we've talked briefly on this, but if Hormozi and their team was like, hey, we want to come in as a minority equity holder in this business, what would your thoughts on that be?
Well, I mean, definitely depends on the offer.
Yeah.
Is it a $100 million offer? I don't know. I mean, I also am curious too what their structures are like, if they even do minority stakes or.
I mean, that's their whole ad structure right now. It's like, we'll take minority like stake. That's what Hormozi's been preaching, and anything acquisition related of like, we take minority stake in companies and essentially help them with their growth. Like that's their proposition. I
think it definitely would depend on the structure. I've heard from a couple of people who have been through the process that they do a lot of debt deals. And then obviously you have the operational expertise on the back of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because in info or just consulting in general, oftentimes your constraint isn't capital. It's expertise to grow. So it's almost like the business doesn't need cash. So
I mean, that's the last thing we need is more cash.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like, okay, how are we going to deploy that and grow from it? But that's a big question mark for me.
I know. Same with me, because it's like, what do we actually need outside of one? This person has a much larger presence than us online, so it's like the growth of the company could be much faster. It's like, but also, I think on the recruiting side as well, like if we needed to get good consultants and like people that were A players immediately, we could hire those people directly in without much training.
Yeah, because I mean, essentially what they've built in their portfolio team, it sounds like, is just a crazy talent pipeline that they develop, and then obviously those people are allocated toward their portfolio companies. So
I mean,
it makes sense.
Look what he's done for school.
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, the blow up of that company. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like your next Kajabi or Teachable or what have you. I mean, definitely has the legs to sell for potentially billions of dollars.
Huge.
You know?
Huge. So that's what's coming in the pipeline for us. We have Go High Level coming to the event this year. That's
Huge.
speaking of softwares. I'm excited for that. There's some.
They just got funding as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They just finished a raise.
How much?
That wasn't disclosed,
Mm-hmm.
but they just had a venture. I think it's a venture private equity group come in.
That's crazy. What's nuts to talk about with those guys is they've been profitable, really since starting. Like they've never had.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So I don't know if they just scaled appropriately or
Very uncommon too for software.
very uncommon. But
Usually you just run it.
I mean,
go.
that's at least what at the Scaling at Speed event that I went to. Those guys were there and they spoke and they talked about being profitable really since they started. They haven't really been unprofitable yet. Maybe like I'm sure like the initial investments and stuff and like getting started, but once they like were like a true running company, they've been profitable,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah. I wonder if that changes now that they have venture funding and they're not bootstrapped.
Yeah.
If they'll really hammer down the growth and
Yeah.
go for some very large sale in the future, or if they'll. Yeah, I wonder what the motive was.
I think they're going to go for a really big sale in the
Yeah.
future. I mean, that would make a ton of sense. 60 million.
That was the raise?
That was the raise.
Okay.
So I know one of their big initiatives for this year is going to be Facebook attribution.
Mm,
They're going to build that out inside of Go High Level. So that sounds
that's exciting.
yeah.
I mean, I
super-
think everyone's seen what Becker's done with Hyros,
yeah.
and they're like, okay, that was bought for 110.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it makes all the sense. And I feel like that's a big issue that every media buyer, wants solved in some form or fashion. So
Yeah.
they can just roll that in.
I'm very curious if HubSpot will follow suit in like their billing terms, kind of like Go High Level. Because right now, I mean, that's the biggest complaint that we hear is like HubSpot is really good as a platform, but unfortunately, it's so expensive to run. I'm very curious if eventually they're gonna like fold to the pressure of these other CRMs that are like Go High Level that are just a base price. Like what is it, 89, Adam, and then 249. 49. So it's 49 and then 249. Oh, okay. So they have a third price. Okay. So yeah, I'm very curious to see if they follow suit with like a monthly just subscription and then they get like a full suite of services.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, I feel like they're kind of eating the bigger guys' lunch too because their product is so easy to implement or sell into whatever you're doing. So, like, if you have clients, you're automatically selling licenses to, all of those clients. Their affiliate program pays better than anyone else.
Oh,
It's like
it's so good.
they actually incentivize people to like push it for them. So their customer acquisition, maybe that's why they're so profitable, honestly, because they don't have to spend really any money on customer acquisition.
Yeah, I mean, people sell it for them. I mean, I think the top affiliate made, it was millions. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think their top affiliate, or maybe they paid out 5 million.
Total 40 M's last year.
40 million affiliates
That's
last year.
crazy.
Yeah, and I think their top did 5 mil. I know 5 mil was a figure.
Quick question for you guys. What do you think about something like Salesforce, right? You think HubSpot will go more in that direction, just being more like for a corporate,
Yeah.
big business?
Yeah, maybe.
So agency model.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I can't see high level being an enterprise solution, which Salesforce is straight enterprise.
At least not for the foreseeable future. Maybe eventually
Yeah.
they'll get there, but
But in my opinion, HubSpot is closer to something like Salesforce
It
than
is.
at least currently, than it is GHL, right? Like,
Yeah, oh, for sure, for sure.
take that direction.
Yeah, the thing is, Salesforce goes so much deeper than just sales.
grab a mic.
Like that gets into like ERP
You have to turn 'em up.
systems and inventory,
He's 4.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, because
Uh, And then keep him the same level as us.
I think that's where I could see them going.
Yeah, there we go.
Less like, because would it make sense for HubSpot to cater for agencies, or would it make sense for them to just build out their platform more, keep the same prices, be more expensive, and just go more enterprise corporate?
For sure. Well, what's interesting is they do have a pretty solid agency partner program, and they'll feed deals to a select group of agencies, and they have like all these different tiers
Yeah.
of agency partners depending on the amount of HubSpot you sell per year is how their tier system works. So like their top 10 agencies built their entire business around HubSpot.
Yeah.
And, they feed them the most deals.
I'm curious how the 100 or the My First Million guys do with their HubSpot sponsorship. Is it just a sponsorship? Are they winning on affiliates as well?
Yeah, could be.
Because they plug it pretty much every podcast.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I've never found HubSpot that enjoyable to use.
I do not like navigating it. It's very complicated.
No. Also, I'll say like with high level and even ClickFunnels, like with HubSpot, building out the marketing arm of things like landing pages, all of that, you're so severely limited in what you can do unless you're custom coding everything or what have you, where it's kind of like, it just feels really clunky. Like you want to set up a form that takes forever. It's not like a 10-minute thing that you can do.
And to your point there too, man, I think for go high level, like what's so important is that everything's in one place. Like when you're on HubSpot and you want to do calling, you want to do texting, you have to get Alaware, you have to, connect all these other softwares where GHL just makes it so simple for you. Everything's right there in one place.
Also, the biggest benefit for us was just snapshots. Yeah. Just being able to take the templates that we already have for us and what our client should have and be able to just download it straight into their business. I don't know if that's a possibility in HubSpot.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But I mean, that was the selling point for us of like, hey, if we're going to work on people's sales ops, we got to be able to take this and just download it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a huge value prop for us.
As D-Dang would say, man, the dummy tax on HubSpot, it's large, man.
It's a very large dummy tax.
Shout out D-Dang.
Shout out D-Dang.
Right Hook Digital.
Yeah, man.
All right. Anything else on Hydra Council events? Go high level?
Just excited. I feel like, the work's already been done now. It's just time to go through the motions.
Yep. All right, crew. Well, thanks for tuning in for this agency therapy. Kirch, good to have you in the building.
Thanks
for
having
love having
me.
you here, man. Up next, we're actually doing it today. We're going to be talking with Ryan Stacy from Tridus, also a client of ours, long-lasting client of ours at Hydra. So excited to get him on the pod. Should be a fun one. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.